At She Can, we tell women's stories. We show how women got to where they are today. And welcome to Piper Stege Nelson. Piper, welcome to She Can. I'm really excited to talk to you. You're the executive director of I Live Here, I Give Here, which is a non-for-profit based in Austin, Texas, that is dedicated to local philanthropy. You are passionate about empathetic leadership and communications for mission-driven organizations, and you really care about being an ally, a better anti-racist, and a better spokesperson for equity and belonging. You're also part of the BBC 100 Most Inspiring Women's list, which is amazing. Congratulations to that. Tell us a bit more about yourself.
I grew up here in Austin, Texas, and Texas is such a bizarre place because we have so much mixed and messed up ideology, so much poor history. But one of the things about Texas is that Texas women are incredible. They are strong and fierce and kind and generous and tough as nails. And so I grew up being surrounded by amazing Texas women, people like Ann Richards. I can remember seeing her inaugurated as, the first truly female governor here in Texas. So, but that growing up around just amazing Texas women told me that Texas women and probably women in general should be running the world. And so I sort of focused my career on raising up and advancing women because I felt like that was what we needed to do to change the world for the better, was to get women out there in positions of leadership. And so I've dedicated my career to raising up women, advancing women, and my house is filled with feminists. My husband, my son, my daughter, we all recognize that that's an important part of making the world a better place.
Piper, so tell us a little bit more about the work you're currently doing and the difference that you're making.
I think one of the coolest things about what I'm doing right now is that I'm really focused on local. And I think going back to the women piece, one of the things we see is that when women are in charge, when women are running the state legislature, or when women are running the household finances, the family benefits, women benefit, family benefits, children benefits. And so one of the things that we're doing here at I Live Here, I Give Here, was we're really focusing on the local and how you can make a difference at the local level. And so we are empowering Central Texans, men, women, anyone who's identified in any sort of way, to give back to the local community. And we focus on giving back financially. But that giving back in terms of your time and volunteering is also key and something that we focus on. One of the things that we do is we do a giving day. And so 3 weeks ago, we had a huge Central Texas Giving Day, and we raised $10 million for 730 nonprofits over the course of 24 hours. So it was huge. It was 28,000 people across the community giving back. And it was phenomenal.
How incredible is that, Piper? So tell us a little bit more about that project. That sounds incredible. What an incredible achievement. How do you communicate that? How do you get 28,000 people engaged giving $10 million?
So the organization that I work for, I Live Here, I Give Her, was started by a woman, a Central Texas, one of those fierce Central Texas women, who said, my community is not giving back as much as it should. And so she started this organization specifically to get people in Central Texas to give back more. And then they created this giving day. And so what we do every year is we use radio. I was on TV 8 to 10 times last week or 2 weeks ago. TV, radio, social media, billboards, influencers, our board, whoever we can to get the word out, yard signs. But the other thing is that those 730 nonprofits that are participating also want people to be engaged and give. And so, we have people writing just amazing checks to whether it's supporting cats or making sure that kiddos are getting lunches at school, whatever your cause is, people are giving back because they're hearing about us everywhere.
Piper, so give us your main motivators that make you get up in the morning every day and think, I'm really excited about this.
In the current job, it's really that I live in this community. I'm from this community. I want to make sure that all the people that are moving to this community, and Austin is growing like gangbusters, all the folks that are moving to this community really understand that this is a community that gives and that we are a community that takes care of each other. And so my main motivator is to make sure that we are all working to make this community and frankly, the world a better place. We have two kiddos in our house. We've got a 13-year-old girl and an 11-year-old boy. And one of the things that we ask is, how did you make the world a better place? Whether it's today or this week, but really making sure that we are all moving towards that goal, that is what we are focusing our lives on.
Yeah, a purpose-driven life. Piper, so
Purpose-driven life.
it sounds like this is really a community that cares, right? Which is such a beautiful thing. So tell us a bit more about the qualities that you think you have that make you good at what you do. You seem to be an incredible communicator. How did you get there?
I talk a lot and I've messed up a lot. um, I think you know, I I really my purpose in life is really to make things better. I get very emotional and passionate about people who are feeling sad or suffering. I get really emotional about how how as a community and as a world, we are simply not taking care of everyone in this world or everyone in this community. And so that really drives me to figure out the best ways that we can solve those problems. I worked for many years at a local organization that was stopping the cycle of violence. And so I talked for years about stopping child abuse and domestic violence and sexual assault and trafficking. And those issues are devastating, just devastating. And through that process, one of the things that I learned was that I had to take all of this passion and these emotions that I feel so strongly. I could start crying right now. Um, and I needed to focus them in a way so that I was communicating clearly so that other people felt that way too. You know, some people deal with tears very well and it's very compelling, and other people need numbers and facts. And so finding a panoply of ways to communicate with people. Also during that job, I decided that my school system here in Austin needed help. And so I ran for school board here in Austin. And one of the things that I learned is that my tongue and my passion really get in my way sometimes. I go out and I'm very transparent. I do not play poker. I cannot. I am very poor at poker because I just put it all out there. But one of the things that running for office taught me is that, again, I needed to take that passion and that transparency and really hone it so that people could hear me, and people could affect change with me.
Yeah, I'm so grateful that you said that because I feel I'm learning the same lessons and have been learning them for a while. Piper, so give us some top tips. You really care about being an ally, a better anti-racist, a better spokesperson for equity and belonging. What tips do you have for, young women, but really women of all ages that are our listeners?
Yeah. Thank you for asking that question. I'm going to start with the piece of my own house. I've got kiddos that are on their own journey in terms of their sexuality and their gender. So we talk a lot about accepting everyone, about allyship for everyone, and also about toxic masculinity and about healthy masculinity and about making sure that no matter where you are on the spectrum of sexuality or gender, that you are happy with who you are and that you are accepting of others for who they are. But I think on the anti-racist piece, it was 4 or 5 years ago when I was looking around and we were not through sort of that racial awakening yet. And I realized that this was an area where I had not done the work yet. I had been in
Mhm.
very white spaces for the bulk of my life. And so I went to a class, and it was extremely helpful. It was a very intro class. But it was 2 days where I was thinking about race and about class in ways that I had not before. And again, it was not rocket science, but what it did was start me down my diversity, equity, inclusion, belonging journey. And I'm so grateful for that class. And from there, I dedicated myself to making sure that I was reading books. Cast by Isabel Wilkinson was
Mm.
incredible. White Fragility, incredible. All these books that really, as I go along, help me think about these things. And I continue to take classes. Undoing Racism was another conversation here that blew my mind about being white and about the fact that we really don't have a culture in so many ways and how that drives us to really be assholes in so many ways.
Mm.
And then I kept reading and I kept taking classes and I kept talking to people. And I am not, I still have so far to go on that journey. But I understand that it is a journey and that every step that I take, I am being a better ally, I'm being a better friend, and I'm being a better part of the community. And so I still say things and do things that make me cringe, that make other people cringe. But that's part of the process as well. It's accepting that I'm going to make mistakes, hoping for grace, but also recognizing that that grace won't always happen because it need not. But learning from that every time I can make a mistake. And I don't, but I try.
Yeah, Piper, thank you for that. I think it's so important for us to be comfortable in being uncomfortable and being okay in making mistakes, and definitely never going down the cancel culture route, which is, shutting down so many conversations that are so important to be had. Piper, so what are you most proud of to date?
Oh, what a great question. Um, I mean, number one is my kids. They're brilliant and they're kind. The 13-year-old girl is going through a little bit of a teen phase, so we're gonna survive it. But overall, they're amazing people. Also really proud of my marriage. We are partners, and he is truly a feminist and is raising kids that want to be good people, that are good people, and I'm really grateful for that, and I'm really proud of that. Um, I also, the fact that I ran for office during a pandemic, um, that my daughter designed my campaign sign, that my son was making calls and standing on corners with my sign, that it was a truly family event really made me proud. I really enjoyed that. Yeah. And the last thing is that I've been a part of an organization for probably 15 years now that gets women elected in Texas,
Hmm.
pro-choice Democratic women elected to office in Texas. And it's such a bizarre, niche, imperative organization called Annie's List. And I'm very proud of my work with them as well.
Yeah, I think that's very important. We have 70 elections around the world. Of course, we're looking at America with the next elections that seem so crucial for women. So women voters are really called in 2024. Piper, so what are your plans, goals, dreams for your next couple of years?
It's a great question. First of all, I want to make sure that we are doing everything we can to get everyone in Central Texas giving. So whether we're doing more donor education, whether we are inviting people to find their passion, which is so important in giving, whatever we're doing, I want to make sure that we're doing that at I Live Here, I Give Here, and making sure that that's really strong. But I'm also a huge travel fiend. And last year we actually went to Spain and lived in southern Spain for a year so that our kids could become fluent in Spanish. And so I have lots of travel plans. I know so many people feel the same, but when I leave this community that I love so much, it broadens my mind. It helps me think about things in a new way. And it really makes me happy. And so I have lots of things: hiking in Iceland and going to the beach in Brazil, and really getting out and exploring places is one of my goals for the next couple of years as well.
Piper, and who are your role models? Who are the people who motivate and inspire you to keep going and keep pushing and showing up?
Not surprisingly, it's a bunch of amazing women. The famous one is Michelle Obama. The way that she combines her personal and her professional life. When they go low, we go high. I just truly believe it. I got to work for one of her organizations, the Let Girls Learn, that was getting girls engaged in education
Mm.
around the world. Michelle Obama, absolutely number one. But I hate to be cliche, my mom is just phenomenal. She is a feminist. She is strong and brilliant. She's a therapist, which means I should be really messed up, and I probably am. But she just is, and she's a phenomenal grandmother. And so I have an introvert daughter who is glorious. My mom steps in and helps me really co-parent that introvert, and I'm really grateful to have her in my life and have her as a role model.
Piper, I'm so grateful for this conversation and for you really amplifying this power that we have on a local basis and how we can bring about so much change when we embrace that and show what is possible on a local level that then gets amplified on a national level and even international level and shows others how that can be done. So thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much. This was glorious to be with you.